Alright, so you're probably wondering why I have these headphones around my neck. It's because I've been watching some YouTube videos of Monday Night Raw reviews of last night's show, videos from No DQ, the Wrestling Gurus, other people, etc., etc. And the more I think about it in an overall perspective, the more I think that they're right. This show last night absolutely sucked. Hey, what's up and how's it going, everyone? Well, I'm so glad that you have took your time to spend with me right here today on the Mick Rockin' Bolt Wrestling Review Show. I'm your co-host, Mike Mick Rock Wilson, and I don't know what happened to the WWE, because Survivor Series, the more I think about Survivor Series Sunday night, it was like I got punched so hard in the gut that I had diarrhea. It was that bad. And coming off of it was another Raw where it just felt like another rehashed Survivor Series with lots of filler matches. I will get to all of those later on in this review. The show kicked off when Randy Orton came out, and he got on the microphone and said that he thought he wouldn't show up today, and as the WWE champion, and people should apologize to him. He said that the Authority will join him at ringside, and he introduced the Authority to the ring. Triple H confronted Randy Orton and said that he couldn't be more pleased. He said that when he has always known that Randy Orton has all the potential to be one of the greatest WWE superstars ever. Stephanie said that he did exactly what they thought he would do. Randy then says that they have made all of this about themselves, and at this point it just felt like Randy Orton was kind of playing off as a face or a baby face in a weird kind of way for some reason about them arguing with heels. Usually, we see heels arguing with heels, but it just felt like it was really not all that great of an opening segment. And after that, Randy said that they have made this all about themselves. He said that Triple H said that he was on the verge of losing, so he decided to come out, and that's why Randy Orton flipped over it. I don't understand how they're going with this relationship between Randy Orton and Triple H. It just feels like it's something that's off the cuff, side story, skamazzle, if that is even a word, and it just wasn't all that great at all. And he said he defeated the Big Show because he is the face of the WWE and the greatest WWE superstar ever. And as he was saying that, there was actually some passion behind his mic skills, just on that part alone. It was pretty much the only positive that came out, because after that, Super Cena came out and said that there can only be one champion, and Triple H made the announcement that at TLC, the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be on the line in a TLC match, but he never said there's a unification match. All we know for certain is that the two titles will be on the line. I could see something happening where Randy Orton takes down the world title and John Cena takes down the WWE Championship in that match. which will probably come off as a letdown, and they'll probably continue it at WrestleMania. But if they're going to end it at TLC, they might be planning something bigger for WrestleMania because of the Royal Rumble as well. The Royal Rumble winner will probably end up facing whoever wins this championship match, or if anything's going to happen with the titles at the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber going forth to WrestleMania. It just feels like WWE Creative kind of doesn't know what to do at this point. So with all that said, let's get to the first match. The Shield versus Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and Rey Mysterio. The only positive I liked out of that match was that Roman Reigns was the stand-up guy, like he was at Survivor Series. That spear he had on Rey Mysterio was an eye-opening moment. And that was pretty much it. Everything else was just mediocre at best. And so with that said, it was just an okay so-so match. What they could do with the Shield is that, have them, face the Wyatt family at WrestleMania or something like that. Or have them in a triple threat match for the United States Championship where Roman Reigns goes over in that match. And I like what the WWE has been doing with the Shield. They've actually used the Shield very well as a group. And if I were to split them up, I'd do it slowly and tease it more. Have something happen during the Royal Rumble match where Dean Ambrose gets eliminated by Roman Reigns, or the other way around, or Seth Rollins, vice versa. Something along those lines. I would like to see that happen. We also saw Mark Henry and Big E Langston versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. Just a throwaway filler match. What I will say is that Mark Henry and Big E Langston actually look good coming out. With their entrances, I thought that itself was okay. The rest of the match was really nothing special. Mark Henry gets the win, pins Curtis Axel in the ring. It just feels like that Mark Henry is back and not being put to use, not using him the way that they should, and on top of that, I think he came back way too soon. I would have been happier to see Sheamus come back, but I guess they'll probably save him for the Royal Rumble event. Who knows yet? Also, we saw Naomi, Cameron, the Bellas, Natalya, Eva Marie, and JoJo versus Hoxana, Tamina Snuka, Alicia Fox, Kayden, AJ Lee, Summer Rae, and Rosa Mendez. All this was a repeat of Survivor Series, and the worst thing they done in that match was burying AJ Lee. And the WWE should not be burying their champions, because she is the face of the Divas division. And it wasn't a case of, oh my god, what just happened? It just felt like that just sucked. So I really didn't see anything positive coming out of that match. Like I said, it was a throwaway, rehashed Survivor Series match, which was probably even worse or just as bad as the Survivor Series match, where the Divas get pinned over a normal move like a body slam or a drop kick, and the WWE is not utilizing the Divas very well. It was a very rushed process match again, like they done at Survivor Series, and it's just not right what the WWE is doing with the Divas division. And for example, burying AJ Lee in that match. I would rather see the other Divas that are not on Total Divas get the win and have a rematch after that. But with all that said, it was just something that was not very good on the show. they treat the Divas, the women, on NXT a lot better than they do on Raw and SmackDown. So that just goes to show what the WWE has confidence, lacking confidence in the Divas division on Raw. Also, we saw Dolph Ziggler versus Damien Sandow. I thought that was the only other positive thing I enjoyed about the show. I like that, what they done last week with the hardcore stipulation, have Dolph Ziggler go over. And last night's show, we had Damien Sandow go over Dolph Ziggler in that match. I like what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow, even though they got clouds over their heads. The WWE kind of doesn't know what to do with them, so I guess the logical thing to do is just to put those two in a series of matches where we're probably going to have a tiebreaker and have another stipulation next week for their one-on-one match, if that does happen. Hopefully it does, because I like to see more what the WWE can do with these guys. Put them in the championship hunt, because Dolph Ziggler should be in there, and Damien Sandow is trying to get up there after coming off of the World Heavyweight Championship match, cashing in on John Cena and losing. So I love to see WWE actually use these guys even more and putting them in championship matches, and they don't have to win the championship matches. Just put them in matches to make me believe that they could be threats to John Cena or Randy Orton's championships. And so that's all I have to say about that. We also had the Wyatt family versus CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. It was a rehashed Survivor Series 3-on-2 handicap match. And I'm not going to bash the wrestling. I thought it was a so-so okay match. I like that what happened at the end where Daniel Bryan was being carried out by the Wyatt family. So there's probably something going to happen, involving Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family. Hopefully, if they do a story where Daniel Bryan gets brainwashed and he follows the buzzers with the Wyatt family, if that does happen, hopefully it ends really soon. I like to see Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble and go on to face the champion at WrestleMania. I think a lot of people will be happy to see Daniel Bryan in the title hunt instead of jobbing out to the Wyatt family, even though they went over at Survivor Series and having it end in a no contest in their tag team handicap match last night on Raw. So, and then we saw after that where the Shield, Roman Reigns, spears CM Punk. It was just a weird direction where they're going with this. We got the Shield after CM Punk, and we got the Wyatt family after Daniel Bryan. So it's kind of to see where it's going to go with the storylines on Raw. And there's not a lot of clear plot lines coming off of last night's show, so that's another downfall. I think the reason why WWE really failed on their show last night. We also saw a segment where it was Miz TV with the special guest host Michael Strahan, and we had Titus O'Neil come out as Michael Strahan with the gap in his tooth, and that segment was not entertaining at all. I didn't even find it funny, not enjoyable at all. Kind of like the show itself, and it was just really a waste of time. 15-20 minutes segment on the show. They could have put on something better. All it was a segment that served no purpose other than to try to entertain the audience. I think the casual fans enjoyed it, but the smart fans, I think, really didn't like that segment at all. where they try to do a hip toss on Michael Strahan and The Miz. And The Miz! Seriously. I mean, you come off the heel turn where he turned on Kofi Kingston in the tag team match. You have him roll up Kofi Kingston in the kickoff match. Nothing special. And we saw the segment with him, with Michael Strahan and Titus O'Neil, and he came off as a baby face. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. I can understand if the reason why they're trying to promote this movie where The Miz is in it, this Christmas movie coming up, and then he'll go out all heel. It just felt really awkward, and it really didn't go anywhere. Even with The Miz's heel turn, it's not going anywhere at this point. Hopefully they do something within the next couple of weeks to get me interested. Overall, this show was not interesting at all. We had Xavier Woods versus Heath Slater, and I guess that when you're in a match with Heath Slater, you just win. And Xavier Woods was one of those guys. However, I will mention that he actually looked good coming out with the Funkadactyls. I thought it was a lot better than Brodus Clay's dancing, because let's face it, Brodus Clay cannot dance at all. I like Xavier Woods with the Funkadactyls, but the funny thing here is that they put Xavier Woods with the Funkadactyls, and we saw R-Truth say that Brodus Clay made a deal with him and have Xavier Woods come out with them. And so I don't know if this is going to be something for shits and giggles, or if this is going to be long-term, short-term. I think the WWE creative needs to be more clear in what they're doing with their superstars, like Xavier Woods, Brodus Clay, Tenside, the Funkadactyls. So it just felt really weird. And the main event was John Cena and The Big Show versus Randy Orton and Alberto Del Rio, and I didn't find that match interesting at all. Nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. Where we saw Big Show throughout that match, playing off what TNA is doing with Kurt Angle with the head injuries. So, it's kind of like, okay, is WWE copying what TNA does? Because usually we see TNA copying WWE. That's probably the case here. I really don't know why they're doing it. It's just weird. Simply utter weirdness. And so, with all that said, what happened was the winners were the Big Show and John Cena. John Cena and Randy Orton never really interacted at all in that match. So they never really build up their match upcoming at TLC for the World Heavyweight and WWE Championship. And so, with all that said, I think it was actually smart on the part of WWE's part to put John Cena and Randy Orton at TLC as opposed to WrestleMania, because like I said before, they might be doing something bigger. Maybe John Cena will face The Undertaker. Maybe Randy Orton will face, who knows, Triple H or something like that. I don't know. But I think that what they done with the Big Show, not capitalizing on a good build-up story to him to face Triple H, I'm not feeling it right now. They had good momentum for a possible match for Triple H and the Big Show, and it just doesn't look like it's not going to happen. And I think that sucks. And I think last night's show sucked even more. And I'm not saying it sucked just to be cool to say it did suck, because it did suck. So, really overall, last night's Monday Night Raw was pretty much a rehashed Survivor Series, lots of tag team matches, and it's a wonder did Teddy Long book these matches? That's what I'm wondering. So, with everything on the table now that happened last night on Monday Night Raw, I got no hopes for the WWE. Hopefully next week's Raw, something good happens. So I'm hanging out for dear life in hopes to see what WWE can do next week. Other than that, that was my review of last night's show. What did you think of Monday Night Raw? Comment below, let me know. Did it suck, or was it okay? Or was it great to the casual viewer? Let me know. And to all you MRBers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.